Yep, we are live.
Nice. So you don't know Moose Walla?
I don't know Moose Walla.
That surprises me, actually. So
But-
I came across Moose Walla because we were on the highway, and a truck driver had his entire the trailer. The entire trailer of the truck was wrapped in an RIP Moose Walla
really?
thing. And so at first I was like, oh, ironically, this another truck driver that was killed is being memorialized by another truck driver.
Yeah.
But it was he was a rapper, Indian rapper, killed in India. Excuse me.
This is how little Indian I am. I'm guessing, trying to figure out how to write this name. I'll figure it out, but like
Moose Walla?
yeah,
It's as easy as it could be.
Moose.
Sidhu Moose Walla.
Oh,
Yeah. Sidhu, yeah.
oh, I think I've seen
So
videos with him.
Legitimately was like the Tupac of India. He was like the biggest rapper or whatever, which is I think we discussed last week on the podcast how we got to start kind of redefining India a little bit of they're not a monolith. Maybe I just started talking about this because of Moose Walla. Like the thing, like I'm learning, if we're going to have this many Indians, we got to start picking favorites.
Yeah.
It's really the only way to handle it. Is like we've gotten so many Indians here that we sort of need them to turn on each other in a way to section them off. And no, I know, but as white people, we don't really know the difference that well. Like we know Sikhs wear the thing and they got the dagger.
Yeah, but that's a whole different religion. There's
but that's important to know. I think that a lot of people just see Sikh people and go, oh, that's a different type, but they don't really put in what does that mean. Like, okay, even if they recognize it's a religious thing, do they know what religion and what does that religion mean and how does it feel about the other people in the area? Like, how do they get along with the turban dagger ones? You know what I mean? Like, we just kind of go, they're all here and they're all on e-scooters getting in the way. You know what I mean? Like, we don't parse them out particularly well. I always knew Sikhs to be, because I did security for years.
Security.
Security. And one Christmas, very good, I did the LCBOs.
Yeah.
In Malton, which people talk about Brampton, but that's just because Brampton's big enough to like if an invading army was taking over territories, the Indians got Malton first, but it was a much smaller region.
Yeah.
So they went let's take over this place, and then we can sort of attack Brampton from its flank.
Sure.
So that's Malton, right? And so I was doing LCBO security in the liquor store, and Sikhs, what I knew them as is that they just liked getting like a pint of Canadian Club, pouring it into a big McDonald's Diet Coke, and then just sitting at the mall and sipping on it and just watching. And like, that's all.
Sure, yeah.
Didn't get up to anything, never caused a problem, rarely even sat up, got up from the bench. They would sit for a whole shift. And I'm sure they were creeping or whatever they were doing to whatever degree. But they could just, that's what they did. So in my mind, that's sort of what Sikh is to me, you know?
I should know more. I always laugh. Like being I know I'm not to overly mention, but being Guyanese really is like being Italian American. Like I know so little, but I do know it's a different religion. Almost 100% Northern Indian, the Sikhs are. But either way, even if they're not Sikh, a lot of the Indians we think of are Punjabis. So they're not all Sikh, but there are Punjabis or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the extent that I know.
Sikhs also usually very good, kept and often oiled beards.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the beard is part of their, better than Muslims.
It almost makes me not so because I was always very pro Sikh, but as I've gotten into this Khalistan thing, I'm a little like, not that I don't even know that they shouldn't have their own place. I just don't particularly care for the fact that like we're gonna have their war like here.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I would love them just to keep that their whole
Right,
thing
right.
over there would be great. Although it might be fun. Again, like I said, we sort of need to pick favorites. I would love it if it didn't come to like armed conflicts in picking favorites. I was more of a create our own. Like, where would Sikhs fall in the caste system?
So, no. Well, sort of.
That's like outside of that, right?
Sort of. Technically, one of the castes, and this is translation, are the warrior class, and technically all Sikhs are warriors. That's
Sick.
why they have the dagger. Yeah. But they're not Hindu, so same thing. Muslims technically they don't. If they're in India, they don't. In their heads, they're not part of the caste system. I'm sure Hindus go, you are though. We think of you as. Even if you're Muslim now, we still think of you as a peasant class or something like that, right? But I think Sikhs are similar to that, is that I don't think they follow the caste system because to them, they're all the same thing. So you wouldn't look at another Sikh as you're lower.
Every Indian I meet thinks they're the head of the caste. But is that because a lot of the Indians we get are high casted back in India and that's how they got here?
That can't be true.
Not like high, not the top.
No.
I'm not talking like number. What is it, like 7 or something?
I thought it was 6, but maybe.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know.
I'm throwing it at a dart.
My friend told me.
I just found out about Moose Walla.
Yeah.
You know, what do I know?
It goes Tamil Brahmin, Vishtriya, Kshatriya, and then the Dalits.
Yeah. So there's the Brahmin are the highest and they're the priestly class, and then below them are prince royalty type class.
And this is bloodlines, or like where does this come from? How do you get into one of these groups? You got to go to school.
It is bloodline related. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
but
you can't get out of it.
Yeah, I don't know how they figure out your Brahmin
Probably
class. I have to look.
Could you cross a line through marriage?
No, but they wouldn't marry. They wouldn't.
Yes, they would.
Yeah, well, like
if there was a really hot 6th place one, the fucking 3rd place one's gonna fuck it.
No, you fuck her and you get her dad to throw acid in her face or whatever, but like you don't marry. That doesn't happen. Yeah, you don't.
I don't believe you. The same way I don't believe you. No one's living like this. You're all full of shit. The Sikhs in Saudi Arabia shit on hookers. These Christians get up to all sorts of shenanigans. No one's living like this.
Look,
it doesn't exist. It's just bullshit. Sorry, this is my coloring blanket.
Yeah, it's very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm going to work on this a little while. Go ahead.
Look, and I'll be fair. I know so little about this because all of the Indians in the Caribbean, and probably Fiji too, I don't know what those other weird places where Indians are, but all of them in the Caribbean, they were indentured laborers, which
pretty low caste.
They're either farmer caste or untouchables. That they weren't anything higher. There's no one who was like, I'm a prince class, but I decided to go fucking cut sugarcane. It didn't happen.
Sure. Yeah,
so
I get that. So they're all
out of country. They're all equal because they were all trash. You know.
But now, if I had to guess,
much love to my people.
We're getting a lot of like the 2nd and 3rd tier. Like obviously, if you're 1st tier in your country, you probably don't want to fuck off. Like, what would be the point? Just stay and dominate and whatever, and then be whatever weird thing that they got going on there.
Yeah.
But if you're maybe 2nd, I look at it as like being like radio DJ.
Yeah.
Like, so like if you're New York market, you're not leaving the New York market as a radio DJ. What's the point, right? It's like you got the biggest market. Maybe you get syndication, whatever. Oh, wow. I thought maybe demons were real for a second there. Sorry. Then
this is Beelzebub.
Then you got the 2nd market. So say like L.A., just because I think less people listen to radio in L.A. or something. No one ever cared about L.A. DJs. And then whatever. So the point being is like we have to be getting like you're not going to leave if you're a New York DJ. Even if you're the LA guy, you're probably not going to move to New York and risk your LA job and your lifestyle and your whatever just to move up to New York. But like if you're Chicago or Houston or whatever, like I can imagine the Chicago and Houston casts like would leave are the ones that we're getting. I don't think we're getting like fucking Des Moines radio DJs. You know what I mean?
I think
like
we are.
But how are they even getting here? Like, I mean, like in my head, that would be so poor.
Fraudulent
Yeah, it's
qualifications for like tech jobs.
and to be fair, some of them are.
H1Bs. They have like people here in hiring that bring over their like.
I'm literally just talking about the price of a flight, like and like
Oh, how are
upscaling your
they-
life. I mean, like literally, how are they just affording to get here
It's
and like set up a life?
whole family puts it together. They're like the Amish. They pool
Have a little
things together.
pool, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
And I get the fake university scam. We just had a Chinese acupuncture college fucking open up across the street from us, and I was like, I think we just had a sham college open up across the
Yeah,
street
yeah,
from
yeah,
us.
yeah. There's a lot of
So,
sham college.
Yeah,
We're,
Shoppers World is just 4 sham colleges and a Dollarama.
oh yeah, shoppers. You know what's funny?
It's crazy.
My uncle.
There's no shopping to be done in all of Shoppers World. It
Yeah.
should be called Fraudulent College World.
It's great.
The college district.
Yeah, like
But yeah, I think we're getting low class. That's what my Indian friends tell me, but I
But
don't
they all
know.
act like there's this fucking bitch at Wendy's. I can't stand this Indian lady at Wendy's. She
Yeah.
drives me crazy.
This one right here?
You work at Wendy's, bitch. It doesn't even matter you're Indian.
Yeah.
Like and like people got to work at Wendy's. Whatever. I'm sure there's lots of good people who do that. And like God bless Dave Thomas and the Dave Thomas Foundation
Yeah.
and all the adoption work that they do. But you work at Wendy's, and this lady acts like it's insane how this lady acts.
Me and my girl went to. Well, it was my niece's birthday. We went to Center Island, right? And I don't remember taking the ferry, but maybe I did when I was a kid. But this is the first time I've taken the ferry in 30 years.
Sure.
I'm on the ferry, and as me and my girl are thinking, they're packed in like sardines trying to get onto this ferry. And there's an Indian family next to me, and they are squeezing and pushing their way through to get to the front inch by inch, right? And my girl freaks out, and she goes, "Stop pushing." She does a whole like, "Stop pushing. We'll all get there. Stop." Right? And this Indian lady has the audacity to go. She goes, "Oh, people are pushing from back. Don't be rude." And we were like, "What do you mean? Don't be?" The pushing is the rude part, not getting mad at the pushing.
Yeah.
It's not rude to get mad. But the other thing that I realized is she said that was a complete lie. Her family were the only
of
ones
course.
pushing, but you could see it was like a. It's just like what you were describing. Like they felt a certain entitlement.
But
or
you
something.
have to make them live their lie. Your girl did the correct thing in that situation. You have to force them into the shame. There's still a shame.
Yeah.
People fight through shame. You've been ashamed of yourself in a situation
Sure.
and defended yourself, without a doubt.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
just
yeah.
the very simple act of defending yourself doesn't mean you don't feel the shame. I actually like to say shame. When there was a taxi driver that
Yeah.
it was just over here in Portland. He on a red light did a U-turn like with pedestrians and all sorts of shit just in the middle of an intersection did a U-turn. And so I got like up to him and I caught him at like fucking Peter. Like I mean I followed him for a while just to the point where I could finally get up to the side on him and I went, "What you did could have killed somebody. Shame on you." And I did that S thing you do with shame, where you go,
Yeah,
shame on you.
Yeah.
And like you could see it affected him because like shame exists in every culture. Like, and the other cultures use it better than we do. We tried to get rid of it. They weren't trying to get rid of shame in India. So like their shame is still whatever. So like shame on you. It was very effective. So just we have to find. Here again, this is what conservatives did very well. During COVID and times where their opinions were being suppressed, they were forced online and they developed their own coded language. They found ways to communicate with each other. Let's go, Brandon. That was past it, obviously, but learned to code, right? They found their own language of things that like meant what the point they were trying to get across to
They
each other.
invented Klingon for conservatives.
Exactly, right? So we need to do sort of a similar thing where like we start like so we call all the ones on scooters. We call them zippies or zippy guys. So I want there to be a day, and now we're talking specifically just the scooter ones, not any other. It is not just a blanket term for Indians, but on the scooters, there's zippy or zippy guys, because a big thing is what you don't want to do is be like aggressive about it. Like they're not, once you're aggressive with something, people only hear the aggression. They don't like get the message. But if you're condescending, condescension is like grossly underutilized in these types of situations. Like, the only thing I would suggest is that your girl not get aggressive, get condescending.
Yeah.
And just like what she needs to do is go, hey, everyone make way. Hey, can you guys get out of the way? This super important family who's better than everybody needs to get ahead in front of everyone who's been waiting longer than them. So if everyone could get out of the way of the family that's more important than your families that have been here longer, then that would be great for everyone. That's how you bother them, right? Because now they
humor,
just have
shame,
because they can't fight back. How do you fight back? Right? You don't go, oh no, another family behind us thinks that they're more important, and so now they're pushing their importance onto us. Like there's nothing you can do. But just being aggression is harder. I will give them like a little on the back of the thing, if they're doing whatever, or like when they ride in the sidewalk, I go, you goose, this is a sidewalk for people. Like you have to treat them like babies. Like just treat them like they're babies, and they can't fight back. You know, like
I do like the idea of. It is funny to try to do like a divide and conquer, because there isn't an agreement amongst Indians of there's
not
no
a
such thing.
Front.
There's almost no such thing as unified solidarity amongst Indians, because I wasn't some like hilarious joke, but I wrote a joke a long time ago when Jagmeet Singh was up for prime minister, and he didn't even do that well. And I used to ask audiences with brown people in them, did you vote for him? And they would say, no, I didn't. And it's because even he could have been brown Barack Obama, but there's no unity because he's Sikh.
But here's the problem with him. It was when that picture came out of him where he like would do the long hair like out of the turban, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's actually like handsome, secretly hot or whatever." Right? It's like I don't like a politician that so blatantly code switches. You know what I mean? It's like
show his hair. That's not
it. You got to be one or the other, dog. Yeah. You can't because the hair thing is
it's not
to appeal to white women. Lewis Mould on the podcast again.
Speaking as a Christian man, but the hair, him showing his hair is very like not appropriate in the context. Yeah, like it's kind of weird to show your hair. Is it?
And
not?
The point was, I think they're allowed to. I don't think like you're in trouble if your turban comes off. Are you?
No, you're not in trouble. But like to like show someone your hair. Like I remember like a party someone showed us his, and it was like a sort of oh shit, this is actually like a you can in certain if you need to retie it or whatever, but it's a very rare thing. So to put it on like video, like
that's what, and it,
if
like,
you're amongst friends, it's like a different sort of thing.
It was just blatantly there to appeal to white women.
Yeah,
and then it was like
Jagmeet Singh is
so you shouldn't be, and I probably agree politically on a lot of. If you just take out all the LGBT related things, not that I want them to. Here's what I would love for Canadian politicians to do. I would like every party to walk out and be like, here's the new rule. Gays and everything under that umbrella, the rights you have right now, that's what you got. You don't need more, and they're not going to take away any from you. You just have what you have, and we're going to all stop talking about it.
Stick.
Just done. Like we're gonna.
You can hit if you want, but if you mess it up and it backlashes, you're on your own, bust. You lose all of it. You lose all of your rights.
We're not having a conversation. Everything's fine. We're not even having this conversation anymore. Who cares? Let Anas Cantor play in the NBA. I don't give a shit. The WNBA. Like let it wherever we are. Everyone laws wise, as far as you're concerned. As the government of Canada, gay guys and trans and everybody, you're all right. And then we just move the fuck on and we stop talking about that and just get on to, like, you know what I've liked about the internet the last little bit? And I got to get onto my vacation here soon. I'm glowing. I got this beautiful coloring blanket, but you gotta, like they had the Sophie Cunningham, the white girls were in town playing basketball this week. Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark were here with the Indiana Fever, and so there was like a little protest thing, like on Sophie Cunningham's behalf, because I think I don't even know if she's like, I think she's maybe even walked it back. I don't even know how much she like cares about this, but she said like women should play in women's sports or something. She said something vaguely, I don't want like trans, like it got interpreted as doesn't want trans people in basketball. And I think she kind of walked it back after, but it's close enough for everybody. The Indiana Fever, just go full mega. What are you doing? Like you're staring at a fucking arenas that have black tarps over the top of them. If you just went full mega, it's over. Like let the dudes play. Like let them somebody draft them.
Invite Kid Rock.
If the Toronto Tempo draft Ines Kanter, I'm going to every game. Like, I mean, I'm getting season tickets. I will sell some of them to pay for some of them, and I will get 5 times market value for the tickets that I buy on a season ticket.
You could probably get like a Catacombs Cabaret box.
But yeah, probably, yeah. Like I will go all out for the Toronto Temple if
how much could a box be at one of these games?
Just let Ines Kanter ball out and like let the black women treat them like they treat the white women and just beat the shit out of them and do whatever they want. But like, let's just end the conversation.
You should actually do a deal where it's like, okay, give us a box, and then we will bring the headlining comedian, which could be Steve Heitner, could be Sam Tripoli, to come and attend a Toronto Tempo game.
And then, because then they can do then we start forcing the celebrities in for them. Hey, look, everyone, it's Bert from Fish Tank. Hey, it's Bert from Fish Tank's here to watch the Toronto Tempo today. It's a great fucking idea. Wow, Ed the Sock at the Toronto Tempo game. We got courtside seats, but he has to have a box he sits in and hides. It's only the Sock gets to watch the game. Yeah, no, that's perfect. Yeah, absolutely. I will. Toronto Temple, if you're watching, I have 2 requests. You give us courtside seats for 4 courtside seats. Myself, my girlfriend Kennedy, 1 other guest each game, and a celebrity guest that we have on that week that we have come sit courtside. It might be Mysterion, who was on Penn and Teller's, whatever, varying degrees of celebrity, but they'll attend a Toronto Tempo game, and then you got to draft Ines Kanter because it's so funny. And like, yes, it's a publicity stunt and it's corny. Both those guys are corny for doing this. It's like, it's such fucking shitty attention getting shit, but the WNBA needs a publicity stunt. Just do it. But yeah, speaking of Indians in Canada, I went, we tried to find a place where there wouldn't be this week. I've been gone since Monday to the beautiful Bruce Peninsula. We took a little trip up to eventually up to Tobermory.
Rob. You're looking glowing.
It was nice. We got a glamping pod up there. We start our trip as any trip up there has to start. A little visit to the. Now there is no current Wyerton Willie. Unfortunately, he passed away March 10th. Rest his soul. A little pour one out for Wyerton Willie. But we went and saw the statue, and where they do the little ceremony where they see if he comes out or whatever, and sees his shit. And it is like wild up there. First of all, there is very few Indians up there. It is actually surprising. It is that's if you want to go, because you can't really go east or west in Ontario to escape that. But up north, like that's there's just nothing to draw them really. Like we ran into an Indian guy in Sauble Beach, and you could tell he was like he didn't know how to, like, he was very new to the thing, and he was still in the convenience store. Like, they were still kicking the door down into that territory. Sawmill Beach, I mean, not to give it all away, but of all the things we did, that's the gem we have. These are Caribbean beaches we're sitting on, freezing Caribbean beaches, but Caribbean beaches nonetheless, very appreciated. We did just give some of it back to the indigenous. We'll see how that goes. I think we gave them a bowling alley, possibly. I think they might have zigzagged around and threw a condemned bowling alley in with what the indigenous got. But
I'd love to see him turn that around. That would be real wholesome, all
they got
cable TV show.
I'll help them. I got plans. You rip those 10 pins out right away. That's the first thing you do. Get rid of the 10 pins. Too much maintenance. Too much shit going on. So what you got to do? If you got 6 lanes, let's say, as a little guy, right? You keep 3, but you turn them into 5 pin. 5 pin's cool. Girls will do it. Girls don't want to pick up a heavy fucking bowling ball, but they will chuck a little 5-pin bowling ball down an alley. That you can get them to do. Then the other 3 lanes, you replace it with, say, like 4 or 5 skee ball machines. This is close to a beach. Canada, for some reason, doesn't get skee ball. This is a thing that we've really lacked on, ultimately. Like the Brighton boardwalk, I believe, has skee ball. They even these fucking limeys understand that you put a proper fucking skee ball machine down on a boardwalk. So, yeah, you rip it out, you put some skee ball in. Skee ball's shorter than bowling, so that'll create a little room to probably put a couple arcade machines. These goddamn claw machines, whatever's going on with that. So, man, the open mic that's not running right now is quite popular. I just keep hearing the footsteps of disappointed young comedians that don't realize that it was, canceled for the week.
It was no, sorry. It was on the sheets thing. It was someone. It
He
does
wasn't-
say 13 on. The
Yeah, he
sheet.
didn't expect to be gone that long. No. It's been a steady train. Yeah. But yeah, sorry, man. All good. I'm gonna take this opportunity to do a little more of my thing. So, Ontario is actually fantastic. Very underrated place. You could really I would say if you had to be cordoned off if we took all the states and all the provinces, which is really unfair because the provinces are way bigger, but whatever. If you put them all, if you had to pick one, I think Ontario really is the best. Like for topography, we got a lot of different shit. You can meet kind of different people. Ottawa's like a thing, you go spend a day there. Like if you wanted to around and all the way up to Thunder Bay, Thunder Bay's kind of fun.
Unrelated to Toronto, it's the best province.
There's a lot of different things. We went to caves, which, big Bruce cave system that was whatever, which is, as we learned, as a slogan in the podcast was for a while, is that we're going to have to live in tunnels. So caves. Yeah. And caves are I get it. When you go into a cave, you're kind of oh man, it must have taken a long time before man was yeah, let me build something else. How much cave woman bitching did it take for the first caveman to be I gotta grab a bunch of fucking wood and no, you're right, the rock's too cold. It's a little chilly at night in the rock, the fucking giant natural formations that will be here forever, that will never change. And if we just stake claim to them, we could have for an eternity. No. Yeah, we'll go build a thing, and then eventually we'll pay property taxes on it and whatever. That was the beginning of the end, is when we were pushed out of perfectly good caves. Because first of all, that was going to limit the population probably to the correct amount. We were probably supposed to just stay in caves.
The caves are so easy. They're already there. We don't need to build foundations.
And you don't have to think about where you piss or shit because you just do it out of the cave.
Right.
If you're in a situation where it's just caves, everything else is for waste. You have to just protect the cave. That's all you really got to take care of is a little bit of cave. Yeah, it was perfect. Everything was perfect once upon a time. Now, what did the not... And everywhere's got caves, right? They got caves in Russia. They got caves in Africa. They got caves in China.
Yeah.
We also spent a lot of time. We went to Elora, saw Kennedy's beautiful family for a little bit before we took the drive up. And when we stayed at the Airbnb, we always because the Airbnb there's always new people checking in, so there's always the last person's YouTube that and then I just fuck up their algorithm the best I can. But then sometimes the algorithm's like good enough. We've been abusing this girl, Courtney Chan. If you ever watch this, I've been fucking with your YouTube for a while. If you're wondering why the 1995 Royal Rumble appears in your, which is the shortest Royal Rumble, Kennedy had a hair appointment today. I could watch the whole Royal Rumble while she was gone. That's the one that Sean wins because only one foot hits the ground, and British Bulldog. By the way, it's so funny, the inconsistencies between a 1994 and 1995 Royal Rumble. Disputed finish in a 1994 Royal Rumble. We don't even have a camera angle. We don't know who hit first, Bret Hart or Lex Luger, right? And so we dispute that and we give them both title shots. But British Bulldog has his hand raised by the referee. They start playing his music, only to find out after Shawn Michaels isn't eliminated and he's chucked out of the ring and he has no claim to getting a match at WrestleMania. This makes no sense. He's just as like that. You should have also had to have the coin flip, and Diesel should have faced British Bulldog earlier in the night.
If there was a boxing match, and they raised
Declared
one
him the
boxer's
winner.
hand, and then realized the match wasn't over, and the other boxer knocks him out, they wouldn't be like, "Oh, well, I guess the
he
champ,
wins.
he
Yeah,
wins.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
fucked this guy over."
Yeah,
but
exactly. British Bulldog should have been in the main event of WrestleMania 11. He should have been with Pam Anderson. It should have been him. That's what led him to pills and eventually dying.
Surprised he's not defending the British Bulldog.
No, I think he deserves another shot. Now.
he's very dead. His
Do it
kid
here.
wrestles.
Do
Yeah.
the capos.
We could probably get his kid. Oh no, sorry. Yeah,
I
Harry.
assume he's also a wrestler to avenge his father.
Yeah, bro. Harry. Yeah. Both the British Bulldogs. Harry Smith is British Bulldog's kid, and then the Dynamite Kid, who was like one of the original British Bulldogs, who got very crippled. He's like the most bitter, crippled old wrestler guy. Like you can't even like find an interview of him because he would just be like, like he would say something like crazy. But yeah, Brit. Are you familiar with Tommy Billington?
No, not really.
What is your impression of wrestling as a person who grew up in England?
It was always like kids whose parents like bought them all the things that were into it, and they would always just try and like I'd be around their house like watching them play Xbox and not having a go, and then they would just like pile drive me. That's my.
Yeah,
That was that because in England you typically needed like a cable thing to be like to watch wrestling. There wasn't really.
But
like,
they got the
YouTube.
pay-per-views for free. That
Yeah.
was the bonus.
But
You had Sky
needed the-
Network. Yeah.
You needed like the Sky box or whatever to get the actual thing. It was never really like that accessible. I think people had like the tapes and stuff, but I don't know. Bad connotations were just like kids putting wrestling moves on me. It was always very like boisterous, like a family of like brothers.
and
that
you
were
have the
into
build
it.
that you look like you could take a good pile driver. Like, yeah.
I was very skinny back in the day. So
Well, it's not even that short neck.
Yeah. Just like sort of,
Yeah.
you're kind of squat in a way.
Right, yeah,
So
yeah.
like, there's a compactness
Yeah.
about you that
I was
would be-
pile drived.
Yes, yeah. Or like a good razor's edge. Just anything that starts in the gayest way a wrestling move can start.
Yeah.
Which so many of them start with, which is
Yeah.
your head between my legs bent over. That
Yeah.
is like.
that was always my impression of wrestling. It was nothing good. It was
But
nothing.
like, here's the thing. Like, I talked about this before with the DraftKings and whatever. As our sports are getting faker, right, and betting is coming in and whatever, at a certain point, wrestling actually becomes the most intelligent sport to watch overall because it's the only one being honest about what it is. If all of our sports are fake and we treat them like they're real, that's like what wrestling fans were in the 70s and the 60s when like they really thought what was happening on TV was real, right? Like we've gone all the way around where now wrestling's actually the only thing being honest and then therefore kind of intelligent.
Does soccer have gambling problems?
It does have. It has had like gambling match fixing scandals by like triad gangs back in like. There's probably some stuff that still happens, but it was like League 2 and 1, like the sort of like fourth and third division, because there you sort of like you're almost in the big money, but you're still like making maybe like $1,000 or $2,000 a week, maybe 5, which is still like decent, but to get like a real payday is it's very enticing for a lot of people to do that.
The reason you probably catch League 2 is like if you're not that good at soccer, you're probably also not that good at faking you're not that good at soccer. You know, like the best of the best can probably on the drop of a dime determine the outcome of a game. Like if Steph Curry decides he wants to affect the outcome of a game, he's so exponentially more able to do that than like a guy like what's crazy. Jonte Porter was so greedy. The guy that for the Raptors, he was Michael Porter Jr.'s brother, and he was a two-way guy, and he like was putting these bets on himself as a guy that nobody gave a shit about. Like that's crazy. That's the most noticeable fucking thing. That the two guys that have gotten caught, Terry Rozier and Jonte Porter, did it so noticeably. Like we've only caught the two that did it like blatantly out in the open. So how many of them are just doing it well? Right? So like, yeah, it's just all kind of wrestling now. And we're all just cheering. Like it's whatever. But this is 2 episodes in a row. Let me talk about Bruce Peninsula more instead of whatever. We did stay in a Christian camp, by the way.
Oh, nice.
It was nice. It was very clean. It was a great camp. I have to say that. I don't know. They didn't push. I booked it on Priceline. It had just 2 glamping pods because Tobermory is expensive as fuck. Yeah, like it's get a hotel room in Tobermory is like pretty decent, but just don't. And like hike, it was discouraging how few people were just on a hike in the Bruce Peninsula. Like, so the grotto's like the big thing, right? It's like the showstopper. That's where everybody goes when they go up there, and like you have to reserve your parking for certain time slots that you're allowed in, and so they were full because I didn't take it seriously. And so then we had to park at a halfway log dump instead, which Google Maps told me was an hour and a half hike to the grotto. So I was like, oh, you know what? I wanted to do this hike anyways. Like I wanted to hike. So like that's kind of perfect. Gives me that. We can stop at the grotto, jump in for a while, then hike back. And that's kind of the perfect day or whatever. It was a much longer hike than they let on ultimately. It was fairly challenging. Just in like sort of just don't go to the grotto. So first of all, the grotto sucks. The grotto is a horrible time. I've kind of like I was like I'm gonna get more harsh on it as it goes along because I kind of just wanted to like it in the moment and it's nice, but it's all full of moss. It's very slippery. You're just slip sliding all over the goddamn
place. It's just a really funny
place.
image of like you misunderestimating how difficult the hike is and being like attacked by like eagles and stuff. And then you get to the grotto and you're all like tattered and like.
It is crazy. Not one critter the whole time.
Oh.
They really make you think it's going to be Snake City and fucking all this shit. Not a goddamn single critter the whole time along. Not a wired and willy. Not a fucking snake. Not a bear. Not a goddamn thing. And it's just a slippery mess, and that's where you will find Indians in the Bruce Peninsula is at the grotto.
Where it's slippery.
Where it's slippery, yeah. And I don't know if it's the moss or them, but it's slippery over there, and it's just not. If you're up there, there's so many beautiful things. Like it was just, I guess what was probably, I like the hike, but I guess what would be annoying about it is we probably passed like 3 better beaches on the way to the touristy shitty beach that we should have just went. But that's the problem with hiking is it's the because like during COVID I did a bunch of mountains. I showed her I did this trail in Acadia called the Precipice Trail, which is like that and Angel's Landing are kind of considered the 2 scary trails in America. And I showed it to her kind of like, oh, what about this one? Like, because the nice thing about a hike is a mountain is it's very goal orientated. Like I probably would never do the precipice trail again because I've done it. I don't really need to put myself through that again. There's a checklist nature to it, right? So I thought maybe that would motivate her into that. Like, yeah, isn't that kind of fun though? Like you to go, oh, I did that mountain. And I showed her the video of it, and it was like, oh no, we're not doing that at all. Because you just kind of climb a mountain on iron like rungs or whatever. So it's terrifying. During COVID, I clearly lacked the slow adrenaline drip of stand-up comedy. It's not like you think after a certain period of time, and I am very comfortable on stage, and I've been doing it a while. But if my thumb hurts, I still have enough adrenaline from being on stage that like you have that stage health, which means obviously like there's some form of adrenaline there, or my thumb would still hurt. So, and maybe if I'm doing 45 minutes at a club, by like minute 25, maybe I'm going to go, oh yeah, my fucking thumb. But for a bit, I'm not going to think about that thumb for a while. So it clearly still exists. I think losing that, the mountains were the replacement. I sort of needed these like bursts of adrenaline that I could do that like, and like in a healthy way. I was going to start like fucking jumping people or like, whatever.
Banks.
Yeah. Like, I was going to be crazy about it.
Sorry, the comedy club's closed.
Yeah. So, but the problem with the hike is or the goal nature of it, where you're like, I got to get to the grotto, is you sort of overlook a bunch of stuff that was like kind of better. We were going to, there's this place, Flower Pot Island, you're supposed to go to, and like you get on the little ferry and it brings you around to whatever. And I didn't really want to do the ferry thing. So we've been quite good little kayakers this summer. And so we thought we could kayak to Flower Pot Island. It was about 6 kilometers, which wasn't terribly outside our abilities. But so we did kayak on the last day. They have shipwrecks there, and they've just left the shipwrecks. By the way, it is funny to think that if something terrible happens, if you just leave it, it'll eventually be a tourist destination. Like, when was the last time anyone went to Hiroshima?
Wait, sorry. You thought this like journey would be easy, but it wasn't.
Well, no. So I'll explain this.
Because it sounds like the 6 kilometer hop to Flower Pot Island sounds like very like twee and like nice, but the fact the shipwreck's there,
yes,
surely
it's a great point.
Surely you'd be like, wait a minute.
It is fun that in a place known for shipwrecks, we were like, let's kayak to an island way out in the middle of the bay, and everything said not to. Like the kayak rental place that we looked at, they said don't like.
Was it like a haggard old like woman who was like, don't go out on the
the website
whatever,
like
lady.
At the beginning is just like don't go to Flower like we do not allow you to. Now the kayaks they rented us, so because you're going over a shipwreck, they're clear bottom little like plastic kayaks that. Holy fuck, yeah. We would have literally, it just would have been like, poof, like we would have just been gone had we gone into the bay. We got towards the mouth of the bay, and like, I was like, no, I'm not. There was like a lighthouse that you can see at the end of it, and I was like, I don't even need to see the lighthouse.
The lighthouse.
Like it's crazy. Yes. So yes, we did go, let's go see the shipwrecks in a kayak.
I'm just a landlord, but to me this sounds potentially terrifying.
Yeah. And it would have been. But there's just something about me. I would have been pissed until I got into that kayak and went around the little inlet and then went to the mouth of it and felt what it was like at the mouth of that inlet. I would have been pissed about not trying until I went back and then did it. Like it would have always bothered me to just listen to people because so often people are just being faggots. Like it's just too many. We have too much bureaucracy. We have too much like nanny state and everything's just too safe. And so like when I hear don't kayak to Flower Pot Island, I'm like, that's not for me. You know what I mean? Like I just hear in my head, I'm like, that's for the fucking family and the idiot and the whatever that need to be taught not to go. So I just instinctually want to try. And boy, oh boy, we would have died. Like, I mean, it is the scariest water I have ever been. It is massive, and it is so deep. Like, and it's all rocks. You're not going to end up on a beach. You're going to be clobbered by massive boulders. Like, it would be a horrible and predictable death had we actually gone through with doing any of that. So, but we did. But over the shipwrecks, very cute. But that's like leaving. Now, obviously, like, no, I'm even going as far as to go to say them. Like, if something terrible happens, just leave it. Like, just go, that's the place where something terrible happened. And then eventually a lot of tourists will come to see the terrible thing that happened. Nobody visits Hiroshima. Nobody visits Nagasaki. If you had just left them, the smoldering craters that they were after the bombs dropped, you have 2 hot new tourist destinations in Japan. Like, people would be going every year. They would visit Tokyo. They'd fly into Tokyo. And then they would get on a train and they'd go, I want to go see where the nuclear bomb was dropped. New York should have just left the 9/11 rubble. Like, they should have just left half destroyed buildings kind of just jaggedly out. They should have saved as many firefighters and whatever as they possibly could have done. But they should have left 2 jagged buildings. I guess technically 3 jagged buildings for some reason. They should Tower 7. Oh, yeah. They should have left the two Twin Towers and Tower 7. New York should have left them. It's like, because what they do, they just built a monument that's a big hole anyways. You know, like in a fucking mall that like nobody, like that everyone feels kind of spooky about shopping. Nobody feels good. New York, that was stupid. Nobody feels good. No one wants to go to Uniqlo in the fucking 9/11 hole. Like, it's just an odd, it feels disrespectful. Like, it's not a fun. Now, listen, if I lived in the area or if I had to, like, change trains there and I was like, I really need a pair of socks and I like the Uniqlo socks. They have them organized very monochromatically and nice. And I find that to be a pleasant sock shopping experience. So I do like Uniqlo for socks. So ultimately, if I had to get socks and I was at the 9/11 hole Uniqlo, I would still grab a pair. But I don't feel good about it. I'm not going to browse the rest. I'll tell you that much. I'm going right to the socks. I'm grabbing them. I'm getting the fuck out of there. I'm using your weird put them in the bin and it'll cash it out for you fucking bin thing that is kind of fun the first few times, but then you feel bad about it after a little bit. But I would use one of those and I'd get the fuck out. I'm not perusing the 9/11 hole Uniqlo for fleece or jogging pants, other basics I might buy from Uniqlo, you know? So it's that, and it's the giant hole that you're tempted to throw a fucking quarter into, but it's probably not one of them. So like,
it's not
you don't
one
do
of them.
That.
It would be bad manners to probably flip
I think it would be bad manners to make a wish on a 9/11 hole. I think that's a reverse wish.
There's a very weird, solemn atmosphere. I kind of liked it. It was kind of creepy. It had a real like dark, like Silent Hill kind of, because you can't see the bottom of one of them because of the angle. So it's very like.
See, but that's what I would have liked. That's why I would have preferred they just left 3 mangled structures poking out of the ground that people came to visit and paid. Because you can just build an office building somewhere else. Like, you don't have to replace the thing right there. So, like, Hiroshima should just be, like, and build a town around it. You know what I mean? Like, or, like, maybe not around it because that would make the middle very inconvenient. Like, if you had to visit your cousins on the other side of the Hiroshima hole, like, that would be so. Or a fun circular tram system, but probably you want to do, like, east and west.
You are not
Hiroshima.
a town planner, Rob.
Yeah, some things can just be whimsical. You know what I mean? Not everything has to. Life's not about efficiency. We're not robots. We're supposed to fucking live. And maybe part of the joy is you visit your cousin. Because let's be honest, the people in Hiroshima are not the ones visiting the Hiroshima hole, right? Like, it's going to be like the CN Tower. I don't go see the CN Tower, right? That's for people visiting. So, like, it would be nice for them that occasionally they had an excuse to take the train through the devastation and be like, oh, yeah, I haven't been to the fucking the district in a
If it was
while
like a
or
big
whatever they call
crater
it.
and you took a train that went over, that would be kind of sick.
It would be sick as fuck.
I know what you mean.
And is it the most efficient? No, but life isn't about being efficient. It's
having
about
a big old
living.
fucking hole and
Yes.
enjoying it.
And going, hey, that's what they did to us. That's what they did to us. Stop being anime characters. We have to remain vigilant.
We have to drink beer and smoke cigs.
Yes,
The
because there's a
important
big
things.
hole right there that represents what can happen. Like, that's important. Like, Hitler's bunker should just be Hitler's bunker. Like, it should be like... Like, that's Hitler's... They didn't put anything up for years where Hitler killed himself because they didn't want people to memorialize it. They were afraid that if they put a sign that said, this is where Hitler killed himself, people would put, like, roses and shit. So,
Speaking of landmarks, check out the Tile Museum in Lisbon when you go.
sure, yeah. Please, matter of fact, text that to me.
And the
we just booked our Lisbon trip
and the
today.
aquarium as well. Apparently, the aquarium is sick.
Cool. Yeah, we booked a beautiful little Lisbon trip. We Porter. We're flying Porter to Lisbon. Isn't that
Nice.
crazy? We're gonna get a sandwich and a beer while I fly to Lisbon.
Port's nice.
Fucking rules. Yeah, man. Porter to Lisbon.
They
Isn't that
treat you
crazy?
like garbage on Air Canada, but Porter's actually like
Porter's the
kinda
best.
nice.
It looks like the flight. Porter. The whole vibe is the pilots might rape the stewardess. Still, you know what I mean? Like, it has that vibe
Good old
to it.
days.
Yeah, yeah. It's Mad Men Sky.
You get a glass as well when you go to drink. So you get free beers, free snacks. They give you like a tray, and you just get to pick whatever snack you want.
no, but
I didn't realize it was.
certain, but you also got to think. We picked Lisbon because it's like the closest point in Europe to go. Basically, London's 7 hours 15. Lisbon's 7 hours flat. So, and I just wanted to experience something different. It'll be fun. Yeah, we booked today. Got a beautiful little flat in Alfama. It's the old town, which is like, no cars. It warns you on the Airbnb that, like, yeah, you're gonna have to walk for a bit because cars, like, you're in a district, cars aren't allowed. Pretty sick as hell. But, and the lead up to that was we visited Wyerton Willie in the Bruce Peninsula. We're going Wyerton Willie, then Lisbon. I think Anthony Bourdain should have visited Wyerton Willie. Like, genuinely, he would have learned something up there. There is an interesting, like, I'm fascinated by, like, fair town, like a carnival town culture. Like, I think there's something very charming. I'm giving myself, I said this when we left Sauble Beach. So we went Wyerton, we did the hike, we did all the kayak shit all up there. The camp was nice, the religious camp. I'll get back into that in a second. But then we went down into Sauble Beach. And Sauble it doesn't have a boardwalk because boardwalks just don't really work in Canada, I guess, to a large degree because they just get destroyed. Like, the upkeep on a boardwalk would be like, weather-wise would be too shitty or whatever. But there's still that vibe. Like, it still has that carnival town. I said, in 5 years, if I don't make it, Catacombs, even if we're successful, it closes, and we're doing Catacombs Sauble Beach all summer, and then Catacombs Playa del Carmen in Mexico all winter. And I'm just living back and forth and having a kooky little venue and just living like fun beach culture town, man. I could have, in the 80s, I could have been like a dude with a motorcycle and and just lived in Daytona. Like, I just love that they all have motorcycle. I bought a leather jacket this week.
Sexy.
This week, bought a leather jacket at Sauble Beach. I just like that it's from Sauble Beach even. Like, it sounds like a place you should get a leather jacket from.
Do we still... I have a comment about it because I know a comic who... I'll get to that in a second. But do we still think leather jackets are cool in the sense that... I know they can look good, but I just mean, like, do we still go, oh, I got a leather jacket? And do guys go to other... Oh, leather jacket. Like, do we still do that? Or is that gone?
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about necessarily about the old days, but... I think people appreciate leather jackets. So my only other leather jacket previous to this one I still own.
Yeah.
She wears it now. But I bought it in England. I bought it here, but it was because when I lived in England, All Saints is everything. I got very into All Saints for like a while. And it was my divorce present for myself. It was Bobby Kelly talked me into buying this jacket. I was with Bobby Kelly. We were at Yorkdale Mall. and I put this jacket on, and he just like, I loved it, but it was like $550, which was a fortune to me at the time. And he just fucking would not, like, he browbeat me into buying this fucking jacket, which God bless. I mean, I still own it. It was a great purchase. It was worth it ultimately. But you know what to wear? So many compliments. It totally, you just got to be the right guy to wear the thing. And there's lots of, there's a leather jacket for every fella. It's just, I don't think, the truth is, most guys are dog shit at dressing themselves. Like, there's just not a ton of thought that's put into it. We're not taught to put thought into it. Like, rich guys are the only guys who can dress well because they are taught to do it because they can't just show up and embarrass their family. Most of us can just embarrass our family through our teen years into our young adulthood. We can just dress slubby. If it's not a wedding or a funeral, like, our parents don't really give a shit about our appearance that way. As long as we're not like visibly dirty or something, or like whatever, like, they generally aren't like, hey, can you put on, like, you don't need a band t-shirt today, you know, whatever. We get to indulge our shitty clothing habits. And even if you have shitty clothing, I'm a guy who wears band t-shirts, but I know enough that in some of them, this one's not a good enough. You cut the sleeves off this one and style that with a thing and like whatever. Like, I think about dressing. I think I'm in a very small minority of men who really think about dressing at all.
I think that might be speaking of the younger ages, that might be a white thing.
Yeah, maybe you guys have more, again, shame. But this is where shame comes in, is that ethnic families don't want you to, like, make them look bad.
Yeah, and it's also, I'm not going to say, oh, they all dress well, because there could probably be conceived a certain tackiness about how I grew up, but, like, a normal thing was they used to, this is a very common thing, is you would buy for your nephews and stuff a gold-plated wrist. What do you call it?
I think I kind of a bracelet.
It's a bracelet. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah. So it's a flat plate, and then you have the chain.
I kind of know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And that's very popular. I had them. Everything. It was pure gold because they would get them from like Guyana and stuff like that, and they and chains and stuff like. There's a lot of.
Yeah, but I would say ethnic guys later on generally dress better.
Sure. Yeah.
Like white people will neglect their kids in every way. My brother was halfway through a trans werewolf fucking transformation, and my parents just didn't pick up on it. Is it just dead? I
think it's just dead.
That's fine. I'm sure we'll be okay. What are we at anyways? What time mark are we at?
Oh yeah, we're at an hour right now.
Yeah. So I would love, but yeah, I got to figure out how to buy land from indigenous people, because now that Sauble Beach got that big chunk given by the indigenous, now is the time for a bad deal to go. Like, this is where we got to buy a resort worth of land from them and fucking put something really cool on it. And like, I get to Sauble Beach. I understand. Like, we have to ruin one place, right, with tourists. Like, Ontario needs it. And I have picked Sauble Beach. And I'm very sorry to the people of Sauble Beach who want it to remain like a bit of a secret, and because there's capacities on the things, but they got to expand the beach out. We've got to. You're
forgetting. We did ruin one place.
What?
You know, we ruined one beach. We ruined with tourism and nonsense. It's Canadian Daytona. Is not ringing a bell. Wasaga Beach is.
Yeah, but
we
like
ruined.
Yeah, but it's what it should be. No, but this is what these places are supposed to be. It's not ruined. If you're living there for a different reason, you're selfish. You shouldn't be there for a different reason. Nature decides. You don't decide. You are man. You don't get to pick what an area is for. I'm sorry. They gave us crystal clear water and nice sand beaches. You don't get to NIMBY that bullshit and keep us out. That is for visiting. You get to grow up and move to real person land, or you get to enjoy being a carny. If you want to be a townie, be a townie. Townies, carnies is what those people are. Enjoy marks. And the more marks that come, the better. If that's not your mentality, get the fuck out of a beach town. You don't need to live there. It's not for you. Sell your real estate for a premium to a developer and get the fuck out. Toronto needs a place to visit. We need Wasaga Beach. I'm sorry. We need to teach. And like, it's not just, this is not white privilege. This is because we need, how do we assimilate? This will be how we end. One more time. Again, just like I think I talked about a couple of weeks ago, the Indian family looking at the Joe Carter statue and him showing his kids the video of the Joe Carter home run and who's Ed Spread, Dad? Oh, tell me about Kelly Gruber. He was an alcoholic. You know, shit like that. That's important. The cottage is important. These things are important. Mm-hmm. So if you want to, for the Indians, for whatever, they need a place to go and bring their family for a weekend and go, oh, this is what it's like. Oh, we eat a corn dog. We need to assimilate people. You can't assimilate people if you're trying to keep white enclaves in these places. Or like, oh, max the capacity. No, ram the capacity out. I want Sauble Beach to be fucking packed. I want it to be wall-to-wall people. I want you to walk up and go, God damn, that is a beautiful beach covered in Indians that we are condescending to, not getting angry at. We're condescending to them not to shit on the beach. We go, no, no, no. Oh, somebody thinks that's where you go potty. And after a little bit of condescension, they won't shit in the beach anymore and we'll be a better country for it. They need that. That is a learning experience. Sauble Beach, I'm sorry, but I'm striking a deal with the indigenous to bring in more Indians, ironically. We're going to push out the Indians to bring in some Indians because we got an economy to grow over there. Anyways, that's Rob Loves Arguing. Goodbye.